Welcome back to the channel, fellow adventurers. If you're new here, we do EDC gear and knife reviews. If you like that kind of content, please consider subscribing. All right. I am super stoked because today we have two knives from Legion Steel. If you're not familiar with Legion Steel, they're a newer knife company, basically launched in 2023 by Marshall and Marissa. Two people who are fantastic in the knife community. I have a good relationship with them, and they did supply the knives today for the review. So, with that being said, though, Marshall wants my honest feedback, and so does Marissa. So you're going to get that. And this is not going to be a full testing video. This is going to be basically an initial reaction and overview. So let's start off by moving the Legion Steel sticker out of the way. And by the way, that's a great logo. Absolutely love that. So let's open up this one, number 39 of 100. And then we'll open this one, number 44 of 100. So they made this knife available in two colorways. They have the blacked out version and then the silver version. So let's start off with the silver. We'll move the black one out of the way. They come in these really nice cases, by the way. These are waterproof cases. Keep your knife very well protected. That's a nice touch. These are premium knives. These are not going to be your run-of-the-mill, $20 Amazon knife. They're not going to be your $60 Amazon knife. These are a quality knife. So even the baggie inside, it has the model number on it. So that's not the model number, the serial number, because these are limited edition. We'll move this one out of the way as well. So what we have here is a titanium with a shredded carbon inlay with stainless steel blue coated hardware. You've got the blue pivot with the shredded carbon fiber around the pivot. Really makes for a nice looking knife. The inlays are pretty level, slightly raised, but evenly raised. So you could tell it's meant to be that way. It wasn't a mistake. They've got this nice milling back here, which adds to the look. It's a flipper tab, and it's a low profile flipper, which I appreciate. It does have jimping here, which is really nice. You've got this beautiful blue titanium backspacer here with a place for a lanyard. And you've got this blue titanium milled clip. This is a frame lock, as you can see there. Hardware on it looks to be T8, or no, it's T6 and T8. Okay, so we got that out of the way. So let's flick this open. Listen to the sound of that. Look at that knife. Just look at that shape. They're calling it a modified sheepsfoot. This blade comes in at 3.5 inches. The overall length of the knife is 7.8 inches. So it's a good sized knife. And it's very attractive. Definitely you can tell this is a premium knife. You can actually feel the difference holding this against, say, an inexpensive knife. You can just feel it like instantly. And I don't say that lightly. Now, they're calling this a modified sheepsfoot. I may call it a Wharncliffe. Maybe, I don't know. It borders on Wharncliffe, modified sheepsfoot. I get it. So let's look at this up close. You have the Legion Steel logo. And what I like is it's not huge on there. It's a nice size. You almost don't notice it, which is really nice. And it's a beautiful logo. The sword with the wings, absolutely gorgeous. I like everything they're doing as far as aesthetics. On the other side, you have Marshall's Maker's Mark right there. The Noble Knives logo. You have the steel type right there. And this is a CPM 20V. So it's a premium steel. And here, even though it's small and hard to see, you have what looks to be the model number of the knife. But getting back, it's a premium steel. CPM 20V is a very good steel. No doubt about it. So they've used quality materials. This is a grade 5 titanium. Like I said, everything on this is quality. And such a big knife, extremely lightweight. It's coming in at 3.7 ounces. I think that's great. That, one of the complaints I've had with some other premium knives that I've used is that they're a little bit on the heavy side. This would not be a problem to carry. So, one finger operation, drop shutty. Ooh, that's a nice controlled drop. Let's do that again. Listen to that detent. That pops out of there with authority. And, yep, one drop like that. You can control the drop on that. That's really smooth. And again, that beautiful sound. So, first impressions of how it feels. Feels really good in the hand. It does have jimping here, but the jimping's not very aggressive, and my finger slides. I like it to lock down. I would actually like the jimping to come out a little further so you could really choke up on it and just be a little bit more aggressive. Now, it's not a reversible clip. I wish it was. That way it would be lefty friendly as well. And it's not a deep carry, which you're not going to get a deep carry with a milled clip like that. So I get that. I like the fact that they put the inlays on both sides. Nothing drives me more crazy than a knife that only has inlays on the show side. I really can't stand that. So this is really nice. So let's put that one down and let's get the black one. Okay, so black one's on its way. So again, it's got the serial number on the bag and on the box as well. And this is the black one. This is just gorgeous. You can see here, black titanium, again with your shredded carbon fiber inlays. Again, very smooth. Just like I said, just slightly coming up, but it's even all around. So you can tell that was a design choice as opposed to a manufacturing problem. Again, that beautiful milled cutout right there. Beautiful blue, light blue titanium backspacer with the stainless steel blue coated hardware. Same titanium clip. And this one, if you look, I didn't notice it on the other one. See something. Let's get a flashlight out here and check something out. Okay, so I'm going to show you something if you could see. So right there, and I don't know if it's going to come across on camera or not, but let's hold this up there. They have a hardened insert behind the frame lock, and it does come down. Let's see if I can show it there. See that angle. I don't know if you're going to see it, but it's got a piece of steel that comes down to keep the frame from going too far this way. That's a nice touch. That's a nice detail on that. Yeah. So I noticed it more. I didn't actually notice it until I picked up the black one, because on the black one you can actually see it better against the black background. So you see that right there. So that's good because that won't have any type of problem holding. So both knives are perfectly centered. And again, they're identical except for the color. Let's pop this one open. Again, that beautiful, beautiful action and sound. And again, the logo looks great right there. It's a little more visible with the white on black, but still, I absolutely love it. And this one is number 39 of 100. Again, CPM 20 CV with Marshall's maker's mark right there. So now this is something interesting. I noticed this right away. Let's compare something here. Same knife, different feel. I don't know if it's because of the coating on the titanium here, but this one to me actually feels better than this one. And I know it's not in my head, because here's what I notice. here, my pinky grabs right there, and this kind of, not slices, but I could feel it creating a little bit of a hot spot for me on the silver edition. Right away, same cutout, but I don't feel the hot spot. And I don't know, maybe the coating makes it feel a little slicker over it. And so that's something I noticed right away. On this one, it just feels more pronounced. Almost like this right here comes to a little point where this one doesn't. You actually feel this one slightly rounded over more, or if it's just the coating that makes it feel that way. But this one feels slightly more comfortable. I don't think it would be enough to bother me. You know, maybe if I was doing a lot of hard use and hard cutting with it, then it might affect how it feels. But, you know, it might create a little bit of a hot spot. Now, if anybody doesn't know or hasn't watched before, I wear an extra large glove. I have a decent sized hand, and that fills the hand perfectly. It's very ergonomic. And I really like that. Now, I noticed what's nice is that clip does not create a hot spot. Again, you have the diamond white coating, the DLC, on the black, and you have the stone wash here. Both done very, very well. You know, I think these are great looking knives, and they are premium knives, and they are numbered. There's only 100 made of each. So when you get this knife, there's going to be that exclusivity. Once the series is sold out, it's not coming back. It may come back in a different form, maybe different materials, but this exact series is not going to come back. So with that being said, here are the things I love. I love the looks. I love the blade shape. I absolutely love the smaller flipper tab. I don't like knives that have a giant flipper tab that stick out. I've actually prevented myself from buying a few knives where it sticks out. I love this because it's subdued. It works well. So aesthetically, I love the way this looks. Now, one bit of commentary, something that drives me nuts, and I am a color guru, so to speak. I have an art background. I went to school for art. I would have preferred, and I don't know if it's possible, that blue to be the same as that blue. Now, you are using different materials, so I don't know if it's possible. But I would have preferred the darker blue, like this, on the clip. Same with the backspacer. I would have preferred that blue to be the same, that blue to be the same as that. But that's a very minor critique. Now, next thing that I would change slightly, if I had the pencil, the sharpening choil would be just a little bit bigger. I think you're going to get one really good sharpening out of here before you start to notice a smile. But that could be enlarged. You can do that yourself. But out of the box, I wish that was just slightly bigger. I wish the jimping were more aggressive. I prefer an aggressive jimping. Now, this one grabs a little bit better than this one, and that because that's the DLC coating makes this really slick. This one has a tendency to grab a little bit better. I can feel it, but they both are slippery, and I wish it would come out. Now, keep in mind, these knives are about $330 each, so they are a premium knife. They are made with premium materials. I think it's worth it. These are grail knives. This is going to be somebody's grail knife. This is going to be somebody's grail knife. My initial impressions when I looked at them on the website was I preferred the titanium with the blue. I have a lot of knives that have that colorway. But when I opened the boxes initially, I fell in love with this one. This one is so sharp, so much so that I had to have one for myself. So I have mine that'll eventually be on the way. And Marshall and Marissa were nice enough to pull number 50 for me. Thank you, guys. Now, a couple of other little nitpicks. Again, I don't know why, but this here seems to catch me and create a little bit of a hot spot that I wish was just a little different. Now, everything else I absolutely love on this knife. On these knives, I should say. They are terrific. And I want to show you a size comparison because saying it's 3.5 inches and 7.8 overall doesn't actually put it in perspective. So let's put this up against, size-wise, against the Benchmade Bug Out. Because Benchmade Bug Out is widely popular, and a lot of people have them. Same thing, we're going to put it against the Manix 2. Blade shape, blade wise, the blade on the Manix 2 is just as long, but there's more of a cutting edge on the Asgeir. And they're about the same as far as the Benchmade on cutting, on the cutting surface, but the Asgeir has a bigger handle, more to grab. So now let's put it up against a smaller knife. We'll put it up against the Kershaw Leek, so you can kind of see. Pivot to pivot, it's got a bigger blade than the Leek, bigger handle. And these are not spring assisted like the Kershaw Leek. Now, a couple of other things that, you got the size wise, you got the weight, very good on all of it. Now, a couple of little, very minor critiques that I would like to see Marshall Marissa maybe change down the line. And that is, shredded carbon fiber looks good, but it's becoming very common on knives that are a lot less money. For that, I would prefer to see this be a fat carbon inlay or some type of like exotic wood inlay that would make it stand out a little bit more. I mean, recently, you guys saw a few videos back, I reviewed a Flissa knife that was very inexpensive, and it had shredded carbon inlays. So it's not a knock on this, but that material I think is becoming more and more common, where when these knives are launched, it may not have been. So that's something I may recommend to those guys. But definitely check these knives out. I will put a link to the knives in the description. And check out Legion Steel. They are an up-and-coming company. Marshall Noble has been designing for a very long time. He was a custom knife maker, worked in the knife industry, designed for other knife companies, has some great designs out there. The Goblin XL, just to name a couple. And these are no exception. These are phenomenal design knives. I really like them. So, with that being said, if you like this kind of content, please, again, consider subscribing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Doesn't hurt, takes you a second, and really helps out the channel. So with that being said, folks, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp.